All right, so let's talk now about our landing page, and that's the page. It's also known as a squeeze page, different things it goes by, but that's where you're going to send people to sign up and get on your list, right? So once you've got your lead magnet and it's something that they're going to want, this is where you're going to send them. So let's talk. We'll get started with the essential components of a great landing page. Now, I'll preface all this by saying these are all best practices. Everything that I explain now are the best ways statistically to do things, right? Testing is really, and I'm going to begin with testing and end with testing because I don't need these. Testing is really going to show you if your page is working or not, right? I'll also mention, don't worry too much about pretty. Pretty isn't too important. Even with whole websites, you want it to look attractive, but I've seen some really simple, blasé websites that totally outperformed fancy ones. Sometimes you can get too complicated, right? People have to think too much. They're not going to take advantage. They're not going to buy. A confused mind doesn't buy, right? So essential components of a great landing page. Creating an effective landing page is crucial for converting visitors into leads. Each element plays a significant role in capturing attention and guiding potential subscribers toward action. So here's the key components that every effective landing page should include. First, you need a really good headline. And I'll just read it, then I'll add, because I'll just start talking and I'll say something, then I'll read it and say it again. Your landing page's headline is usually the first thing visitors will see. A strong, clear, and engaging headline should immediately convey the offer. It should be enticing enough to compel visitors to read further. The goal of the headline is to get them to read the subheadline. And the goal of the subheadline is to get them to read the next sentence. The goal of that sentence is to get them to finish the paragraph. The goal of that paragraph is to get them to read the next paragraph. So, I mean, anytime you're selling something online, whatever element you're creating, the only job it has is to get them to go to the next element. It's such a simple concept, but people really complicate it, right? So if you're thinking, how do I get people, to push that button? If you're not getting enough, look back, see where's the bottleneck? Where are they not going, right? I'm not continuing to go from. So use active language that piques curiosity or addresses a pain point your audience might have. Give them a clear benefit, or make it a no-brainer for them to read on. And simplicity. You want to always act like you're writing to a third grader. Don't make it too complicated. Headlines that grab attention. Here's some ideas. First, a commercial from Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Zero. Your headline's the first interaction a potential subscriber has with your content. It needs to pique interest and draw people in. So here's some ideas, right? First, be clear and concise. Aim for clarity, ensuring your audience quickly understands what your offer is. Like I said before, a confused mind doesn't buy. Don't try to get fancy. Incorporate numbers, headlines with numbers like 5 tips, 10 ways. And this goes along with your lead magnet, right? You're not going to put that in your headline if that's not what your lead magnet's about. But headlines with numbers often perform well as they promise a specific result and something they know exactly what they're getting. I'm getting 3 ways to bring people to my social media site or whatever it is. Create urgency. Use language that encourages immediate action, such as limited time offer or join now to secure your spot. And you'll do what you think is right. I don't create false urgency or false scarcity. I don't tell people there's only 3 left unless there's really only 3 left. I don't say I'm only working with 3 people unless I'm really working with 3 people. But now, a lot of times it's BS, right? I mean, you'll see a guy selling a digital thing, selling a book online, a digital book. There's only 11 left. Well, yeah, like bullshit, right? There's 1,100 left if you can get enough people to buy it. But that's up to you to decide. But you do need to create urgency, and you can do that honestly in a lot of different ways, right? Like with dates. We're taking this down next Friday. Sunday is the last day. This is a January special. So come up with something to add urgency to your offer. And then, like I said, what's the job of the headline? To get them to go to the subheadline. So an equally compelling sub-headline. Following your headline, a sub-headline provides additional context and reinforces the message. Whatever your headline says, you give it a little bit more information and reinforce the headline. This is where you can elaborate on your value proposition, offering a clear explanation of what visitors will gain from signing up or taking action. Think of it as a supportive statement that enhances the overall appeal of your main headline. And it should not be talking about you. I do this, I do this, I do that. You could say the same thing, but you want to word it differently. You get this, you get that, you get that. Not I do, you get, right? Same thing, right? Subheadlines that support. While your headline captures attention, subheadings provide essential context. They keep the momentum going by highlighting the benefits of your offer. And here's some ideas. Expand on the headline, right? Provide a quick summary that elaborates on the promise made in the headline. So if you make a promise, give them something in the subheadline that reinforces that. Use action verbs, unlock motions and evoke excitement with words like discover, unlock, enhance. If you Google or go to an AI and just ask, what are some good selling words? What are words? What are some good words to use in a headline? AI is incredible. It'll tell you exactly. It'll give you specific ideas. Address pain points, problem solution. That's all of marketing is problem solution. No matter what you're selling, you're showing them the problem they have and how it solves it. And it might not be an actual problem, right? But it might be a positive thing, right? And what I mean by that is like, it's not always like we're going to cure your headache, right? But your solution should give them a benefit, should create a benefit, no matter how you position it. So reflect on the challenges your audience faces and hint at solutions that your content provides. And I'll show you a couple examples here. So here's the headline: how to increase your sales by 10 to 20% by lowering your expenses. Now, I'm not saying your expenses, the solution is how to increase sales. The problem is you do it, your expenses are too high, right? Or maybe you're not making enough sales. So it's an implied problem with AI agents. So this is your headline here. And sometimes I add a little bit up here. I don't even know what that's called. But I did this in this case. This is a landing page I had really good success with. I wanted to tell them what it is, but I didn't want that to be in my headline, right? And easy to read a report. I didn't want to say, get this report, because that takes up valuable space. I want them to see the benefit to the report. So I add a little bit up here. And that depends a lot on what your lead magnet is, right? But how to increase your sales by 10 to 20%, that's your headline. And then here's the subheadline that expands on the headline. The headline tells them that we have these incredible AI agents that increase your sales and lower your expenses. And then the subheadline talks more about that. Tells you what the AIs do. They set appointments, they answer questions, they bring business through the door without ads, hiring, payroll, or human resources. And there's the button, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Now, visuals and design. This is where a lot of people go way overboard, and they make it so fancy that people are, oohing and eyeing over the pretty pictures. This is, if you notice, there's no pictures on this page, right? This format is one of the highest performing landing pages ever. Just headline, subheadline, button, with a little bit more down here. And I tell you what, it is not pretty, but I'm not making people think, well, what is it, right? Confused people don't buy. Like I've said 3 times, I promise I'm not going to say it again. Don't worry about pretty. Please, it shouldn't be ridiculous, right? Let me show you one here. This one I'm sure is great. Now, I would have centered this a little. Maybe it has to, I don't know why she didn't center it. I can't center it here. Maybe it's because of the layout. It's a good layout. Maybe it wasn't working for some reason on mobile. I don't know why she didn't center it, but that's beyond the point, right? But here, same thing. It's got a headline. She didn't include an image. And then a subheadline, right? Or this I don't know if you call that a subheadline. That's like a little paragraph after the headline. But the reason I'm showing you this now is just to show you how simple it is. Simple works when it comes to squeeze pages. You're not, you're not teaching on this page. All you want them to do is one goal this page has is to get them to put their email address here and click that little button, right? So I'm just trying to show you this. Please don't get too fancy. Visuals and design, aesthetics matter. High quality your image, whether in an image or even background image related to your offering, can create an emotional connection with your audience, but you don't need one, right? The design is more what I'm talking about than images. Ensure your design is clean and uncluttered, guiding the right naturally toward the call to action. The call to action is the button. Push the button, get the thing. Utilize colors and fonts that align with your brand, maintaining visual consistency while enhancing the user experience. Don't get fancy with your with fonts. I would never use a script font on a landing page. I would never do it. I always make it clear and simple to read. If you include an image or video, its only goal is to get them to take the next step. And if you put a video on your squeeze page, your landing page, and it's too long, you might lose people. They might get bored and shut it off and leave the page. So again, testing will tell you what works the best. But I normally don't even put, well, I guess I do put videos on landing pages a lot, but it's not needed. I don't always do it. And then you need a clear call to action. Your call to action button is the centerpiece of your landing page. It should stand out and clearly communicate what action you want visitors to take. Sign up now, join us, get your free guide. Use vibrant colors and persuasive language that encourages clicks. I suggest, I doubt you'll find a button on any of my websites, any of my landing pages that isn't blue or green. Blue is a color that psychologically relaxes people. It encourages trust. Green is like go, right? I would never, ever, ever use a red button on a landing page, a squeeze page. Red, what does red mean? Stop, right? People don't think of it this way, but 100 years now of testing in direct mail, in television commercials, in billboards, all kinds of things. Now the internet, squeeze pages, landing pages, websites, shows that yellow is a warning. Red means stop. Green and blue, comfort, go. I would always use one of those two colors. Now you don't have to, but again, the results are more important than how pretty it is. So ensure it's located prominently on the page above the fold, and it means it should appear on the page. They shouldn't have to scroll down the page to find the button, especially on a mobile phone. Make sure if when you put that when you create your landing page, that they don't have to go searching for the button, because people won't. It's got to be right there. It's got to be what they see when the page first opens. Ensure it's located prominently on the page above the fold and repeat it as necessary. If it's more of a sales page than a landing page, if you're selling a product or selling a course, that's usually going to be a lot longer, a lot fancier of a web page, right? That's a sales page. It might have a longer video. It could be long, really long, right? That's not what you want when you're just trying to get people to join your list. That's where you're going to send them after they're on your list. So talk long, write long, write wrong. And you'll see both of these very simple. I can scroll here. I don't include all this stuff down here on a landing page. I include it on sales pages. But you see mine ends. It won't even scroll when you go here. So keep it simple. Powerful calls to action. Perhaps the most critical aspect of your copy is the call to action. A strong call to action is what drives conversion. Here's some tips. Be direct. Clearly state what you want the reader to do. For example, sign up free. Tells them what they're getting, right? Get the ebook here. Take the checklist, whatever it is. I mean, don't make it sound awkward, but highlight the benefits, reinforce the advantages of taking action instead of simply saying download now, or maybe say download your free guide to success, right? But download now works too. You tell them exactly what to do. Download now. Also, as far as making these, if you're using my software, which I hope you are, but whatever software you're using, it'll probably come with templates. The software, our AI Sprinkle software, our white label of Go HighLevel, comes with, there's probably 1,000 templates for squeeze pages, for landing pages. So really, you're going to be able to pick ones that look like what I just showed you. Just click go, it'll build the whole thing for you. Then you just got to click on it and change it a little bit, make it for you, right? Create a sense of community in your call to action. Use inclusive language that appeals to belonging. Phrases like join us, join the community, help people feel they're part of something bigger. Now I'm talking about the capture form, right? This is the capture form here. Now I'm using something different here. You say show you now, and it opens a pop-up. This is the capture form. Now you don't have to use a pop-up, it's up to you, right? I'm using a pop-up, they click the button. This is the lead capture form. In her case, this is the lead capture form. Now, all she's asking for is an email address, which is a good strategy. I'm asking for name, email, and potential phone. And the reason I ask for the phone, because if I get their phone number, I can send them texts too, if I want to. I don't send a lot of texts. Well, I guess I do. Anyway, when you're deciding on your lead capture form, if you only give them an email, if their only choice is an email, you're going to get more people. More people are going to sign up for your list. A lot of them are just going to be freebie seekers. Well, yeah, usually. The more information you ask them for, the less people are going to sign up, but the more likely they're going to be to buy. And statistics over years shows us this. So I might get 60% of the people that 60% of the people that click this button might come to, we'll see the pop-up, right? If I only have the email address here, I would get a higher percentage of the people that see it will fill it out. Since I request their name and email, less people are going to fill it out, but they're going to be a little bit more serious. And again, how do we know which works better for you? You test it, right? Testing. Make sure a shorter form increases the chances of completion. I already talked about that. Make sure to clearly state the benefits of signing up next to the form. Let visitors know what they'll get in exchange for their information. Consider using your best email rather than just email. And here's what, to do what I say, don't do what I do. But right here where it says email or email, sometimes if you put your best email, you're likely to get a better email. So, I also don't suggest after people fill out the form, when you send them to a thank you page, after they join your list, you're going to send them to another page that's going to say, thanks so much for joining, check your email, check your email, whatever. I don't suggest you put whatever you're giving them. So say your lead magnet is, you're giving them a checklist on how to tie knots for fly fishing, right? You're giving them 5 simple knots to tie as a fly fisherman. Maybe that's your lead magnet. I wouldn't put the instructions for the knots where they go right after they give you their email. I would email them the instructions for the knots, because someone could give you a fake email address and go get the instructions for the knots if they're on the next page. And this is more about thank you pages than landing pages. But then they'll go back and give you the real email. So send them whatever the email is. Whatever the lead magnet is, don't just put it up on the next page. Social proof, incorporating testimonials, reviews, or statistics can increase your credibility. Showcasing positive feedback from past subscribers or users build trust and mitigate skepticism. I normally don't do a lot of that on squeeze pages, but sometimes I'll put like 1 or 2 testimonials down here. And again, you got to test it all, right? The more you have on your squeeze page, the more you have on their landing page for them to look at and read and think about, the more likely they are not to click the button and join your list, right? But a sales page is more likely to have a whole bunch of testimonials on, right, than a squeeze page. Mobile optimization. With many, users accessing content from mobile devices, most in certain niches, that's going to be most all of them. Ensuring your landing page is mobile friendly is non-negotiable. Responsive design that adjusts to various screen sizes guarantees a smooth experience. Check that all buttons and forms are easily clickable and the content displays correctly on smaller screens. Look at it on several different browser types and phones. Just dribbled on myself. So create your landing page, then look at it on an Android, look at it on an Apple, look at it through Opera, look at it through different browsers. Go to a computer, a PC, and look at it in Firefox, look at it in Chrome, look at it in Internet Explorer to make sure that it's laid out properly in all of them. If you're using our software, it does the mobile, everything's ready for mobile. Here's some thoughts for conversion. And conversion is when they click the button. They give you their email, they click the button. The design of your landing page plays a critical role in converting visitors into leads. When you create a visually an appealing experience, you not only attract attention, but guide users toward taking action. It's a funnel, right? They read the headline. They're up here. They read the sub-headline. They're here. They read a little blurb about it. If you put one, they're here. They push the button. You know, they fill in their email. They push the button. It just takes them to the bottom of the funnel. Layout and flow. A well-structured layout is essential. Organize your content in a way that flows logically, making it easier for them to understand your message. Keep it above the fold. And above the fold means, like I said before, the whole landing page should be above the fold. They should not have to scroll to get to the button. And I said that already. Color is a powerful psychological tool. I talked about that a little bit. The colors you choose can evoke emotions and influence behavior. Consider the feelings that different colors create. Blue can evoke trust. Red draws urgency. Harmonize your color scheme with your brand. Identity is important, but don't shy away from using bold colors strategically. Don't get crazy with your colors. I would not create a landing page that has a black background and fluorescent green letters or anything like that. Some people are just going to leave. They're not going to want to, their eyes aren't good with that, right? Yeah, you should try to use colors that align with your brand, with your logo, with your brand, but you don't have to. Like I said, I always use green and blue for buttons, no matter what my colors are. Fonts. Select fonts that reflect your brand personality, but remain easy to read on all devices. Stick to a maximum of 2 or 3 complementary fonts. This keeps your landing page looking professional. If that's the goal, right? If you're selling comics, maybe your niche is comic readers. Maybe you're going to use a little crazier fonts or whatever, but it still has to be legible. It still has to be readable. Use larger fonts for headlines to ensure that they capture attention while keeping the body text clear and legible. White space used properly enhances the user experience. And it just when there's nothing, right? Here's white space down here. Maybe I could have spread these out a little bit, put more space in between, right? I want to put spaces here, but again, it doesn't matter really. White spaces are important, but it's not as important as your message and what you're giving away. Proper use of white space can increase comprehension. That if everything's too close together, if you got 4 or 5 sentences, or let's say you got 3 paragraphs on a sales page, landing page, any page, and they're longer paragraphs and there's no gaps in between, it makes it so hard for people to read. It's what people refer to as a wall of text. You don't want a wall of text. You want it broken up nice and easy so that a 3rd grader can read it. And here's an important one, links. A good landing page should have 0 links on it, no links. It shouldn't be a part of your website. You should never send people to a home page. Well, I won't say never. It depends a little bit on your niche and your offer, but I'll say always. A landing page that is not your home page will always perform better in getting people to opt into your list than sending people to your home page. And I had this argument 100 times with small business owners since I opened my agency in 2012. They want to can't I just put a link at the bottom of my homepage that says join my newsletter? Yeah, you can if you never want anyone to join it. you want a button way up above the fold, says join our newsletter. They push the button, it takes them to another page that has no links on it. I'll keep reading and I'll explain why. It shouldn't be part of your website. It shouldn't have a menu anywhere on the page. A good landing page, whether it's collecting email addresses or a sales page selling a product, if it's scheduling appointments, whatever it is, if you want them to take an action, it should give them two options: complete the form or leave. And I've referred it to a squeeze page too. We used to call it a squeeze page. I was thinking we're just squeeze them into joining our list. Lead capture page, sometimes it's called. But they should only have two options: join your list or leave. Like here, it's a good landing page, right? What are the options? I wouldn't put all this there. Maybe anyway. And I'm using her list, Digital Boss. She's good. But anyway, your choice when you get to this page. You either join the list or you close the page and leave, right? Same thing here. No options. You join the list or you leave. There's no home page, learn more, about us, none of that. Because people might, let's learn more about them. You see, you made them think. You don't want them to think. You want them to give them your email and take it. Especially, you have such an advantage as a creator. You already have fans. You already have followers. Most of them will do, a lot of them at least, will do what you ask them to do. Send them to a simple landing page. They're going to go there to get whatever you told them to go there and get. You don't want them to start thinking about anything else, right? Their option is get the thing or leave. By strategically applying these principles, you can create landing pages that not only look great, but drive conversion rate percentages. The goal isn't to be pretty, but to create a page that leads viewers to taking action. I should make this like mega, mega, mega big. I should use this. Bam! The landing page has one goal: get the email. That's all it has to do. That's the only job it has: get the email. And like I said before, I'll start by talking about testing, and I'll end with testing. Once you've created your copy, don't hesitate to test different variations. Use A/B testing. If you got my software, which I hope you did, you won't find anything for $70 that does it's a website, it's a landing page, it's a squeeze page, it's AIs, it's everything, and I'm going to stop talking about it. But there's a program in there that'll A/B test for you. So you create your, and here I'll show you. Okay, this is the one that I just showed you, right? And this is for an ebook. And here's what happens. This is called an A/B split test. And I didn't promote this one much, so it's only got 300 clicks. But anyway, these two pages are almost exactly the same. See this one here? And I got something laying right on top of it. 1 second. It's out of the way. You can't see it, but this one here, how to increase your sales. And I can't hover over it, but because this is inside the program. But how to increase your sales by 10 to 20% by lowering your expenses with AI agents. And this one says how to automate lead gen support and communication with AI agents. That little tiny change. After I get 1,000 views, I see which one got the most. That's the one I switch to, and I start doing that permanently. Then I create another one, and I test it to that one. Maybe the one that was better will win again, and I keep it. Maybe the new one gets more, and then I change it. And then I make another one slightly different. And that's what testing is. And I'll make a whole other video teaching that, but for now, just test. Most important thing is make sure it works, right? Make sure that when somebody completes the form and pushes the button, they go to the thank you page, they get the email that sends them the thing, it puts them on your list inside of the software. That's what's most important, the functioning, right? Remember, your copy speaks for your brand. Make it engaging, clear, and inviting. With the right words, you'll not only capture attention, but convert visitors into valued subscribers. So I'm gonna end it here. I know this was good. Just move to the next video down the list, and you'll have your list up and running in no time. I'm Deacon Nick. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you. How do I turn this dang thing off? Well, there it is. Love you guys. Go to the next video. And again, if you need help, ask for it. If you don't, prove it. Let me help. See ya.